Imagine being so broke that you're worried about making next month's rent. Now imagine that situation leading to one of the most valuable travel companies in history. Today, Airbnb is worth tens of billions of dollars and has completely changed how people travel. But here's the surprising part. The company wasn't created by hospitality experts, it wasn't created by real estate investors, and it definitely wasn't created from some master plan to disrupt the hotel industry. It started with a desperate attempt to pay rent, and along the way, the founders were rejected by investors, buried in debt, and forced to sell cereal boxes just to keep their dream alive. This is the real story behind Airbnb's billion-dollar idea. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why the thing that made Airbnb successful wasn't the idea itself. It was something far more powerful. In 2007, Brian Chesky had just moved to San Francisco. He was an industrial designer, not a tech entrepreneur. His friend and former classmate Joe Gebbia was already living there. Both had graduated from the Rhode Island School of Design. Neither was rich, in fact, they were struggling financially. Then something unexpected happened. A major design conference came to San Francisco. Thousands of visitors were arriving. Hotels across the city were fully booked. And that's when Joe noticed an opportunity. He looked around their apartment and asked a simple question. What if we turned our living room into a temporary bed and breakfast, not with real beds, with air mattresses? The idea sounded ridiculous, but they had little to lose. They bought a few air beds, created a simple website, and offered visitors a place to stay. A few days later, 3 guests showed up: a woman from Boston, a father of 4 from Utah, and a traveler from India. The guests slept on air mattresses. Brian and Joe served breakfast. And something unexpected happened. The guests didn't just need a place to sleep. They wanted a local experience. They wanted conversations, connections, stories. That weekend planted the seed for what would eventually become Airbnb, but at the time, nobody thought it was a billion-dollar business, not even the founders. The problem nobody saw. Most people think Airbnb's innovation was renting homes. It wasn't. People were already renting homes online. Craigslist existed, classified listings existed, vacation rentals existed. The real innovation was trust. Think about it. Would you give your house keys to a complete stranger? Would you sleep in a stranger's home? In 2007, most people would have laughed at the idea. The internet had taught people to be cautious. Not trusting strangers was common sense. This was Airbnb's real challenge, not technology, human psychology, and that challenge became obvious almost immediately. When Airbed and Breakfast officially launched in 2008 during the SXSW Festival, the platform received only 2 bookings. 2. That's it. The founders had built a product, but almost nobody wanted it, and things were about to get much worse. The rejections. By 2008, the company was struggling. Investors didn't understand the idea. Many thought it was absurd. The founders pitched repeatedly. Most people passed. Some never even replied. After all, who would invest in a company built around sleeping in strangers' homes? The business generated almost no money. Credit card debt was piling up. The startup looked doomed. This is where most startup stories end. But Airbnb's founders did something unusual. Instead of quitting, they got creative, very creative. And what happened next sounds completely disconnected from travel, because it involved cereal. Before we get there, if you're enjoying uncovering the hidden stories behind billion-dollar fortunes, consider subscribing to BillionTrace. We don't just tell success stories, we investigate how they really happened. Now back to Airbnb. The cereal hustle. In 2008, America was in the middle of a presidential election. Barack Obama versus John McCain. The founders needed cash, desperately. So they designed limited edition cereal boxes. Obama O's and Captain McCain's. The boxes were mostly marketing pieces, but surprisingly, people bought them. Lots of them. The founders reportedly generated around $30,000 from the cereal campaign. Think about that. A future tech giant survived because its founders sold political breakfast cereal. The money kept the company alive. But something even more important happened. The serial story got attention. It demonstrated persistence, resourcefulness, and hustle. Qualities that would soon catch the eye of one of Silicon Valley's most influential startup accelerators. Y Combinator. The turning point. When the Airbnb founders interviewed with Y Combinator, legendary investor Paul Graham noticed something. The business wasn't impressive, the revenue wasn't impressive, the growth wasn't impressive. But the founders were. Anyone willing to sell cereal boxes to save a startup clearly wasn't giving up easily. Y Combinator accepted Airbnb into its program in early 2009. The startup received funding, but more importantly, it received guidance, and one piece of advice would change everything. The founders were told to stop thinking like tech entrepreneurs and start thinking like hosts. So they flew to New York. At the time, New York had some of Airbnb's most active listings. The founders met hosts face-to-face, and they discovered a major problem. The listings looked terrible. The photos were dark, blurry, unprofessional. People weren't booking because the homes looked untrustworthy. So Brian and Joe did something most founders would never do. They rented a camera, knocked on doors, and personally photographed hosts' properties. Almost overnight, bookings increased. That moment revealed a powerful lesson. The problem wasn't the marketplace, the problem was presentation, and solving that simple issue changed Airbnb's trajectory. The bigger idea. Most people believe Airbnb became successful because it rented homes, but that's not entirely true. The deeper insight was that people weren't simply buying accommodation, they were buying access. Access to neighborhoods, access to local culture, access to experiences hotels couldn't always provide. As Airbnb expanded beyond air mattresses and spare rooms, it evolved into an entirely different business. Apartments, entire homes, unique properties, tree houses, castles. Places travelers would never find through traditional hotel chains. The company wasn't just competing with hotels anymore. It was creating a new category, and the timing was perfect. The financial crisis had left many people looking for extra income. Airbnb gave homeowners a way to monetize unused space. Travelers got more options. Hosts earned money. The marketplace effect started accelerating, and once it did, growth became extremely difficult to stop. Controversies and challenges. Of course, the story wasn't all success. As Airbnb expanded globally, criticism followed. Cities began questioning its impact on housing availability. Regulators challenged the company. Local governments introduced restrictions. The platform faced concerns about safety, neighborhood disruption, and rising rents. These debates continue today, but regardless of where people stand on those issues, one fact remains undeniable. Airbnb fundamentally changed the travel industry. It proved that millions of people were willing to trust strangers if the system was designed correctly, and that's a lesson that extends far beyond travel. Conclusion. When people look at Airbnb, they often see a billion-dollar company. They see the IPO, the global brand, the millions of hosts, the massive valuation. What they don't see are the air mattresses, the credit card debt, the investor rejections, the cereal boxes, or the founders walking door-to-door taking photographs because nobody else would. The real story behind Airbnb's billion-dollar idea isn't about renting homes, it's about finding opportunity inside a problem everyone else ignored. Two struggling designers weren't trying to reinvent travel, they were trying to make rent, and in the process they created one of the most influential companies of the internet era. If you enjoyed this investigation, you'll probably love our next story, because sometimes the world's biggest fortunes begin with an idea that sounds completely ridiculous, and those are often the most dangerous ideas to ignore. Subscribe to BillionTrace so you don't miss the next one.